you always being told to point your toes? Because if you are, this is the video for you. Even if you're not and you're just curious about how to point your feet properly, effectively, then keep watching. I don't know why I'm talking like this right now. This is the vibe of the day. I feel very Okay, I just want to make it very clear from the beginning that some people are naturally born with pretty feet. Okay, they have those nice arches, you know, the ones I'm talking about, high arches, their toes are just like boing, so pretty. And there are others of us that are not so fortunate. Maybe your feet are flatter and you just aren't capable physically of that same level of point. I just want to let you know that it's okay. It doesn't matter what your feet look like. Some people just are blessed with better genetics. What matters is that your feet are strong and that you're actually using your muscles and you're trying to point them and you're pointing your whole foot, not just your toes. So let's talk about that. When someone says point your toes, they're kind of wrong. That to me means you're already pointing your foot, but they just want you to point your toes. Because if not, and they're just saying point your toes, then this could be me pointing my toes. Look how ugly that looks. So what really we're trying to do, if a teacher tells you to point your toes, it's to point your foot. Your whole foot plus toes. Foot and toes, okay? So here's my foot and my toes. Let's walk that back one more time so that everyone is clear. I can point just my toes, which would mean like curling them in. Or I can point my whole foot from the ankle and then point my toes. This is the ideal situation. You want to be pointing all of it. When you do this, you're really using the right muscles. You're elongating your line, because when I straighten that leg, this looks better than, how do I do it? This. It's so hard for me to do that. My toes are like slipping around. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is work on getting your foot to point. So you might want to just sit a couple times a week and practice just pointing the foot. This is not hair, it's my sweatpants leaving lint on my legs, by the way. So you want to point your foot from your ankle. You want to think of long foot here. Make that Barbie foot. You can even practice it, just keeping your toes up and then pointing only the toes. I have a full follow along set of exercises for your feet, which I'll link up above and down below. Super helpful if you're working on strengthening your feet. This video is more about the explanation behind it, kind of getting your mind to know what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. Back to our foot and toes conversation. Great exercises to do are just pointing and up. Pointing just the foot and up. And if you're struggling to figure out how to do this motion, I think it's easier to try it with a really straight leg first and think about this ball of the foot pressing against something. So like you're pushing away, I don't know, a person, you're pushing someone, I don't know, whatever you want to push away. You're pushing it with the ball of your foot. Think of that part of your foot going forward and you're pointing all the way to the ankle. And most importantly, you want to make sure you're also not sickling the foot. So sickling my foot would mean that my big toe is coming inward toward my other leg. You don't want that. You always want all your toes to be in line with the leg, not this way. Okay, so the other leg, it would look like this from the side. You want it to look like this. You want it to be in line. So you want to think about pushing something away with the ball of that foot, and then just point the toes. Then do the reverse. Bring your toes up and then flex the foot. So what's initiating the movement, you should feel it actually kind of around your ankle. I don't know what these muscles are, but they're working to get that foot and ankle to point. So part 2 of this conversation would be, maybe you do practice doing this. You sit on the floor, you do your exercises, whatever, but then you still can't point your feet when you're doing your leaps or you're doing kicks or whatever. So the reason that happens, in my opinion, is number 1, you might have just this ingrained bad habit of having flexed feet or not pointed feet, and it was never corrected, and now it's just like muscle memory. And so it's gonna be kind of a challenge, but you're gonna have to really fight to point those feet in the air. Think of pointing the whole ankle and just really, really pointing hard. There are a few things that you can do that even if you're already into bad habits of not pointing your toes, they might help you to point your toes in the air. And those would be things like tendus, dégagés, doing really small versions of whatever your movement is. So if you're practicing leaps, you want to practice your kicks, you want to practice doing développés and really pointing your feet through all of that, because those are the foundational exercises that bring you into the leap. And I do have like a full video talking about leaps as well, so you could try some of those exercises and focus the most on pointing your feet. And then when you go to do your actual leaps, you want to just do it small. Do the mini version first. So instead of doing your full split leap, do a small one. Even if it's small, just focus on your feet and then slowly start getting it bigger and bigger with pointed feet. I really think that's the only way to go about it, is to start retraining your mind-muscle connection to focus on the right things. And then after a while, it really does become habit. Like, I've gotten to the point where it's harder for me to not point than it is to point. You know what I mean? For me, it's just trained in my body and my brain. And you can get there too. It's just about practicing. And like I said, I have plenty of other videos and resources that you can use. But I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys can take away a few pieces of value from this video. And if you enjoyed it or you learned something, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe as well. I post new videos, well right now I'm posting every single day until Christmas, but normally I post every week, and I'd love for you to join my little YouTube family. I'm also over on Instagram, and I post like kind of random stuff about my life and like dance classes and stuff on my stories, so if you want to follow me, I'll put that up here. But that's all I've got for y'all today. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and you can check out some of these videos if you want to. Okay, I hate doing these endings. Bye guys, I will see you tomorrow.